All right, welcome to the People's Fantasy Football Podcast. I'm Doug By here, as always, with Michael Rossi, and today we have a special guest. Our special guest is Just Matt.
Just Matt.
Just Matt.
Going on, guys?
What's
How are
going
you, man?
on?
Glad to be here. Been a fan since the get-go. I don't think I missed the show. So Doug asked me a few times, and hey, give it a whirl.
No, you've been one of our most loyal viewers and listeners for sure. And you're in the big league that we're all in together, so it makes sense to have you on here to talk some fantasy. All right, so today's show, it's a packed show. We have a lot to talk about. We're going to do all the matchups. We're going to do some start sits to end the show, our start, sit, and sleeper of the week. And a lot of buy or sells in this, a lot of over-unders. We're going to touch everything, all right? We're going to try to make it as fun as possible and as smooth as possible. And it won't be as smooth, but as fun as possible.
As smooth as possible.
I said as smooth as possible, but it won't be.
Still a bumpy road for us.
Still very. All right, so let's talk about the Giants-Niners to start. I want to hear any fantasy predictions that you guys have, because last week, Mike, it was just you and I talking about it, and we gave a little prediction on that game. So let's continue that, and let's talk about what do you think of this game, Mike? What do you have in store for this fantasy wise?
Well, right before we came on, Ayuk was listed out, officially out because of the shoulder injury. So I think this is Kittle's game. And my prediction is that Kittle has the most catches on this 49ers team after the game.
Okay. Somewhat bold. A mild bold.
I think so, right? I mean, I think who would you say with Ayuk out? I think CMC would be the highest betting odds to get the most catches, or is it Debo?
Maybe one of those two. Yeah. So there's somewhat bold prediction on your part. He should be the safe kind of option that he goes for. Matt, what do you have for any predictions tonight?
Any predictions?
Any predictions?
All right, I predict fantasy predictions is whatever's going to go on in my dreams, because I predict I'll be sleeping at halftime. But don't. I think I predict the 49ers defense. It's the only thing I could think, because we all know like the main players for the Niners, but defense will probably be, I think, 20 plus.
Wow, 20 plus points.
20 plus points for the defense.
There's been some big weeks.
I'm going by the when I talk here, I'm going by the points for the league we share together. 2 points per sack, interception, fumble recovery, all that. So I mean, I think 20 points is pretty realistic.
Yeah. I think that's probably a solid prediction right there. My prediction is somewhat bold, but they did it last year. So I don't think Breida is going to be the main guy tonight. I think Brightwell is going to get a lot of the carries. I think he might end up being the lead back, the only fantasy relevant back on that team, possibly. And I could see him having maybe 50 yards and a touchdown.
Okay.
So that's we can go back and see it. We can go back and see
I don't know this off the top of my head. Does anybody know who the receiving back is on this Giants team now? Is it?
I would think
Matt Breida.
Or is it Breida?
Yeah.
I
would think Matt Breida.
You have to imagine that the Giants are going to be down, right? I mean, they've been down big both games so far, and this is the Niners defense and the Niners offense that has been electric. So I would say Breida. You know what, Doug? I'm calling your prediction false.
Okay. I think Breida will probably get the garbage time. I think that's probably true. But I don't think he's built to be like a first and second down back.
He's been around a while. I'd have to agree with Dougie there.
Revenge game for him.
He's been around the league, yeah.
That is true, yeah. He was a Niner for a while. Yeah.
Yeah, he started with the Niners.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, let's jump into the matchups of the week here. So the first one I want to talk about is Chargers at Vikings. Vikings are given 1.5. It's an over-under of 53.5, and that's an indoor game, so weather is no concern. Mike, this is your matchup to talk about. So what do you have to say about this matchup?
So real quick, just to give the audience a kind of idea what we're doing, we all prepared 2 questions for each matchup that we're going to ask each other jockey, I guess, right? Podcast jockey. The question's one for each team. So I'll go Minnesota. I mean, actually, my Chargers question. I'll go Doug first.
Okay.
Buy or sell is my question. Minnesota just let up 227 yards on the ground to Philly. Buy or sell, no matter who starts at running back for Los Angeles, they should be in your starting lineup this week.
Yeah, you got to buy that. You got to buy that all day. I don't think Eckler's playing though. I think I don't think he practiced again today, did he?
No
No, he did not.
timetable for Austin Eckler.
Yeah.
Don't mind the dogs in the back.
It's all right. It's all right. I have kids in the back all the time. Yeah, this might be Andy might have been a week too early. This is probably going to be the week where Joshua Kelly actually does show up, and maybe he might get 100 yards and a touchdown. So yeah, bye.
All right, let's go. Matt, you ready? Your
All
Vikings
right,
question.
I'm gonna focus here. The dogs are all over, but we'll go.
I got two for you real quick. The first one's
All
just a
right.
simple yes or no. Minnesota just traded for Cam Akers. Yes or no? Doug fucked everybody by telling them to draft Alexander Madison.
I'm gonna sell that for now. I'm gonna say no because we don't know yet. We don't know. I mean, Cam Akers, he showed a lot of talent that rookie season, but I mean, he's in the doghouse for a reason, right? So
All
we'll
right,
see.
all right.
Unless he goes there with a different attitude. But
All right, the next one is Kirk Cousins came out of the gate on fire, and Minnesota's running game has looked like shit. We all know that. That's why they traded for Akers. So, question, is Addison a must start, and is KJ Osborne a flex option?
wow, I think Addison is your not a must start, but I think he's your flex option. What do you think he'd be two flex league? So yeah, Addison would be a must start, I think, this week. Because I mean, this is gonna be like what we call those Super Bowl of fantasy. Like it's gonna be a high scoring game, I think.
I think it's the
Addison
highest.
will get a
Yeah, it's the highest
yeah,
over
it
under
is.
of the week.
So it's definitely yeah, Addison definitely must start. Sorry, I have to think it through. KJ Osborne would be a good flex. Yeah, yes and yes. I mean,
There we go.
he's
right.
gonna get his catches. I mean, half PPR, he could get you like 10 points. I mean, that's not bad for again, I'm thinking two flex options here. Not bad for a
Yeah, I'll
second
take
flex
10
at all.
points.
Yeah.
All right. Let's jump to the next game. This is another Mike. It's the Titans at Browns. Browns given 3.5. Over-unders 39.5. 69 and sunny. Mike, what do you have
All
for
right.
your two questions?
My first question is I'll go Doug again. Doug, I'll always go you first, then Matt. So Titans is the first question. This matchup is features two solid defenses with two below average passing offenses. You have to, in this scenario, you have to start one, sit one, and cut one. DeAndre Hopkins, Treylon Burks, and Elijah Moore.
Okay. All right. So I'm starting Hopkins because I think he'll get it back. I have to start, sit, and cut.
Yeah. So basically, start, sit, cut. In other words, rank them 1 through 3, but start, sit, cut's more fun.
Yeah. I don't love Elijah Moore. I think he's the cut. And he hardly saw anything until the very end of that game. Yeah, I know, Mike. That's your boy, but what is he showing for you yet?
Targets. He showed me the ability to win the bet with Andrew.
Okay, so how you say Lamar targets? These are Deshaun
yeah.
targets.
Very
Right?
true.
That's
Very
what
true.
these are. So, all right, who was the third guy? No, I lost my train of thought.
It was Treylon.
Okay, yeah.
Burks.
So
Yeah.
I'm sitting Treylon. Again, he's another guy who hasn't shown much. So sit Treylon, start DeAndre, and cut Elijah's ass. All right, what's your next question?
All right, Matt, this is for you for the Browns. Chubb just went down for the year, and they signed Kareem Hunt on Wednesday. Are you still confident in Jerome Ford for Week 3?
Week 3, yeah. I am. I mean, Hunt has known the playbook, but I think he has to still get into, we'd say, practice shape football shape. I mean, I don't know what he does on his side, but I think it's going to be Ford's show, and Hunt is going to hop in. But I do think eventually Hunt's going to be the guy.
Doesn't he kick women
for
on the floor?
Yeah, he nudges them. He nudges them very hard, and we'd have two more Super Bowls with Kareem Hunt on our team. So
No, I actually tend to agree with
he
that
nudges
one.
them very hardly. Yeah, we'll
Yeah,
say
that one was overblown. That one wasn't overblown.
with his foot.
Yeah. All right, is that it, Mike?
That's it. Yep.
All right, Matt. This one's you. Texans at Jaguars.
right.
Jags are given 8.5 points. Over under is 44.5, and that is going to be 87 and sunny. So that'll be a hot one. But both those teams should be used to that heat. Matt, what do you have for your questions?
All right. I'll go to Mike first here. I mean, I think the Texans are going to be playing catch up. So, other than Nico Collins, would you be comfortable flexing Robert Woods or Tank Dell?
Yes is the answer to both. Obviously, depending on the roster, I'm comfortable in a 2-flex league doing either one. Now, my answer on who I would flex, if you're the favorite in a matchup, then I'm starting Robert Woods. If you're the underdog and you need a big game, then I'm going Tank Dell. Yeah, because Robert Woods is a safer option, but Tank Dell is the one that can come out and get 5 for 150 and a touchdown. Robert Woods is going to get you 6 for 80, and that's about it. So he's safer, but Tank Dell, if you need the big points, I'm going him.
Yeah, Dell's the boom
All right.
play.
I like that added answer there. That's good. Great info. All right. Trevor Lawrence, been 2 weeks. He's been kind of underperforming from what we expected, but Texans defense, let's say, do you buy or sell Trevor Lawrence passing for 300 plus yards?
300 plus, huh?
Texans defense only have allowed 382 yards, but they've also faced Lamar Jackson and Anthony Richardson.
Yeah. 2 non-throwing quarterbacks for the most part. I sell it though. I do sell that because, and the Texans were kind of notorious for that last year. They're tough against the quarterbacks in fantasy, and mainly because usually that team has a big lead and they don't need to pass as much. And I think that'll probably be the case in this one. I think the Jags will have a good bounce back game for them, and they'll probably do the majority of the passing in that first half. So he'll have 297 yards passing.
Okay. You said sell so confident, but your answer is 3 yards short.
Sell. That was just
sell.
under.
It's a sell.
For the record, Trevor Lawrence he had 241 in week 1 and 216 in week 2, so he hasn't been close to that yet. So that would be an improvement, obviously.
Yeah, and I don't know how many he's had for his career. That's what I was thinking right away. Is I wonder even how many he's ever had. But yeah,
I didn't look that deep, but
that's all right. That's all right. We don't do that here.
Yeah, I didn't think so. Just to be, I just want to let you guys like a little insight on that question though. Minshew came in for 1 half, threw for 171 yards last week, and a touchdown, 19 for 23 against the Texans defense.
Minshew, he's so good as a backup quarterback. I don't get it. When he comes in unprepared, like when he doesn't expect to start, he does unbelievable. But if you put him as a starter, you name him as a starter, he's gonna shit the bed. I just don't get that.
And he sells jerseys because all I had to say was Minshew, and we got totally off subject.
Oh, people love Minshew.
There you go.
Minshew mania.
Minshew mania, man.
Yeah, it's funny. He must be an overthinker or something. Like when he's the starter, he thinks way too much about it. He just needs to go out there. All right, let's jump to the next game. Patriots at Jets. So Patriots are given 2.5. Over under that game is only 36.5. And I'd probably still take the under. And it's 65 in rain. So another reason to take the under. Mike, I'm going to start with you. Ramondre has yet to have over 50 yards rushing this season. He was RB11 last season in half PPR. Buy or sell, he finally has a top 12 RB performance.
Oh, a top 12. Damn it. I thought you were going like above a certain rushing number.
No, top 12.
Top 12 performance. I'm going to sell it. I think this is going to be a game of two teams trying to grind out the clock, and they're both going to eat up the clock while doing that. So he's not going to get as many opportunities out of the backfield as he would against, the Chiefs, just to give an example of a high-powered offense. So unless he gets in the end zone a couple of times, I don't see it happening. And with Zeke coming out of the backfield with him, I mean, RB2, yeah, but I don't see him doing it as an RB1 this week.
Okay. I tend to agree with you. Once Zeke got there, it got too murky, and the offense has not looked great this year either. So, all right, Matt, will Breece Hall have over 4 carries this week, and maybe even outpace Dalvin Cook this week? Is he going to outpace Dalvin Cook?
I guess that's the real question.
That's the real question.
Yeah, I do. I think he'll outpace Dalvin Cook. Breece Hall's the talent there. Jets are gonna want to win. Yeah.
Okay, simple enough. Let's jump to the next game. Saints at Packers. This is mine as well. Packers are given 1.5. Over under is 42.5. It's gonna be 71 and sunny there. So Matt, I'm gonna start with you again. I'm gonna go back to you. Who is going to lead the Saints in rushing with Jamal Williams out and Kamara still on suspension?
If Kendry Miller plays, Kendry Miller.
Okay.
I'm over Tony Jones.
Kamara. I think. You got one game before Kamara comes back. Let's see. It's like they drafted this kid, right? So he's been hurt. Give him a shot.
Yeah, there was a lot of hype on him. Why not?
Yeah, there was. So see what happens. Mark comes back, maybe he even gets some carries in, but we're talking about this game, so I'd say Kendry Miller.
Okay, I like it. Mike, if Christian Watson is a go, I'm not sure if he is or not.
Yeah, it's still questionable.
It is, yeah. Will you be starting or sitting him? Do you want to give it another week just to see where he's at, or do you want to start him and go for that boom?
No, I mean, obviously, again, it's all depending on your roster. I just wouldn't force him into my lineup. I'd like to see it for a week because this is Jordan Love's first year as a starter, so we don't have much time of him and Watson together. We have time of him and Dobbs and Reed getting that chemistry. So is Watson going to come in and instantly be his favorite target? I'm going to wait and see on that one. So I'm not starting him unless I absolutely have to, but you shouldn't have to.
Yeah, I think only if you're desperate and as a 2-flex league. I'm borderline. I might start him in my league, actually, in the second flex, just for that boom potential. All right.
Yeah, but it depends. If he comes back and he's not questionable, he's not a game time decision, he's a full go, sure. But if there's word that he could be on a snap count, he's a game time decision, I'm not taking that chance with a player that's been out the first 2 weeks. Yeah,
I'd agree with that. All right, let's go to the next game. Broncos at Dolphins. Mike, this is yours. Dolphins are given 6.5. Sorry. Over under is 47.5, and it's going to be 83 degrees with thunderstorms.
Woo! All right, Doug, Broncos on you. This is incredible even to say. Russell Wilson is currently the QB4 through 2 weeks. I mean, we've all seen it, and we still don't believe that this year, but he's the QB4 through 2 weeks. So over under. Well, I guess buy or sell. Buy or sell. Russell Wilson will finish as a top 10 quarterback against the Miami defense.
I'm going to sell that. I think, and we're only 2 weeks in, so those numbers can be construed a little bit. When I think Kirk Cousins is the number 1 overall quarterback right now. I think we all would agree that he's not going to finish that way.
Jordan Love is 2.
Okay, Jordan Love's 2. Yeah.
Picked them up this week.
And the Broncos, so Russell Wilson had that Hail Mary touchdown at the end of that game.
Very true.
Right? So that's a lot of points right there. No, I don't buy that offense at all, really. Judy's banged up. Their running backs, they don't really have a guy that they're confident with. No, I'm selling that.
All right, Matt, you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Dolphins question. Raheem Mostert is the RB5 through 2 weeks, averaging 5.6 a carry with 3 touchdowns. I don't know why that's my stat before this question, but it is. All right, we're doing
Oh.
we're doing another start sit cut.
Oh,
Mostert.
all right.
Raheem Mostert, Javonte Williams, and Jerry Jeudy.
Raheem Mostert. I'm cutting Javante. I'm probably gonna start Judy and sit Mostert.
All right.
If I have
starting
to,
Jeudy.
if I have to sit Mostert, I'm
That's a
starting
man of
Judy.
my word, right? It's a man of my heart.
I'd start
right
them
there.
both probably, but
Yeah, I think Mostert might have one more good game in him before he either gets hurt or they go get another running back.
well, they're talking about A-Chain now a lot this week for some odd relate. So, they have plans for him if it's Mostert and A-Chain. I mean, I'm not saying Mostert's going to lose all his work, but A-Chain's going to cut into that a little bit, I think, especially in a
can't-
game where they're probably going to win. So,
Yeah, true. And I just don't think you can rely on that 31-year-old running back,
yeah,
Um, they should get an insurance for it somewhere. And maybe A-Chain's the guy. All right. Let's go to the next one. Bills at Commanders. Matt, this is yours. Bills are given 6.5. Over-unders 43.5. And that one's going to be 65 degrees and rain. What do you have for your 2 questions?
all right. Not as a flex option, but
Who you asking?
this is kind of my rushed ones, but I'm gonna go ahead and say, are you comfortable starting Brian Robinson as an RB2 based on his usage against the Bills defense?
Just
Who
for
you
me?
sorry?
And this is for Mike.
Okay.
Oh, for me. My answer is yes. I think Brian Robinson won that role. I know I've seen a lot of podcasts and Instagram pages that are saying sell Brian Robinson high right now. I'm holding Brian Robinson. I think he won that role. He's perfect for a Ron Rivera offense. So I'm buying him as an RB2, and probably for the rest of the season, I'm buying him as an RB2.
Yeah, I agree with that.
All right. And Doug, because I'm a James Cook owner in a bunch of leagues, buy or sell, this kid gets a touchdown inside the goal line, the red zone.
In this game or the rest of the year?
In this game. Well, you want to go rest of the year, go ahead. But
This game I'm gonna sell that because they made it very clear that Latavius Murray and Damian Harris
man, they
are
have.
their goal line backs.
All right.
I think the
Being a James
touchdowns.
Cook owner is very annoying to watch.
Yeah.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah,
It is.
the touchdowns from James Cook are going to come from the 10-yard line and back, maybe the 15 or 20 and back, and it's going to be a catch or a long run.
The most annoying part about it is James Cook was a 6th round pick this year in drafts because we saw Damian Harris as the goal line guy.
Yeah.
But
Right.
when it's not even Damian Harris and it's Latavius Murray, it's so frustrating.
It's weird. It's weird.
Another
and I
31-year-old
think I
back.
reached for him in our league together because of this podcast and knowing Andy likes him. And I was like, yeah, he's not
There you
coming back.
go.
I think I got him in like the 5th round, right?
Yeah.
You did. You got him
So,
early. Yeah, you did get him early.
Yeah, early 5th. So
And you're exactly right about that. Andy would have snagged him.
Yeah, you did that a lot in that draft.
I did that
You
with
got,
Ridley against
yeah, Ridley and even I think did you have Trevor Lawrence? Or was that somebody else that snagged him early?
I snagged Trevor Lawrence early.
Yeah.
Yeah. He did
Yeah,
Deontay
that's-
Johnson too on me.
Yeah.
That wasn't early though. That was kind of where he was going. I just
You just got him
I
right
knew he
before
was
my
your
pick.
pick.
Yeah.
And now he's on the IR, so you're welcome.
Yeah, exactly.
So-
I can say that about most of the players I wanted this year. Okay. Let's go to the next game. Falcons at Lions. Lions are given 3 points. Over unders 46.5. And that's an indoor game. And Mike, this is yours.
All right, Doug, I'll go with the Falcons for you.
Okay.
Through 2 weeks of the season, Bijan is outscoring Ritter 36 points to 29 points in half PPR formats. Does that trend continue against the Lions defense?
Okay, so just for this game. Yeah,
Yes.
I think it could. I think it very well could. Ritter's not throwing the ball too much, and they're running it a ton, like we've talked about. And then when he does throw it, he's been throwing it to Bijan a lot. Yeah, I say Bijan has more points than Ritter in this game once again.
Do you think this will be a close game?
Do I think the game itself will be close?
Yeah.
I think the Lions should take care of business.
Okay. Because I think that's the if the Lions are up big and Ritter has to throw the ball, I just want to see him throw it downfield, obviously to Kyle Pitts, because I'm invested in Kyle Pitts.
Yeah.
But I just want to see him throw down the field, and I'm hoping this is the game it gets done.
You just want to see if he can throw the ball down the field.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
I just want to see if it's possible. Yes.
Yeah. All right.
All right, Matt.
Under or over
Lions
a
question.
60-yard throw. No, okay.
No, it's definitely under. I don't think he could throw it that far. And even if he did, he doesn't have the wide receiver fast enough to get there past the cornerback. So, all right, Lions question. St. Brown is battling turf toe. We all know that, and is probable. But even if he does play, he's not going to be 100% on Sunday. So, buy or sell, Amon-Ra St. Brown finishes the day with the most catches in week 3 for the Lions.
For the Lions. Yeah, I'll buy.
You still think he's going to out catch Josh Reynolds and Jameer
Yeah, it's just
Gibbs?
the type of player he is. I mean, Jameer Gibbs might come close because of, the usage he's going to need to have, considering David Montgomery. But I'd buy it just because that's the type of player Amon-Ra is. I mean, he's a PPR, almost a legend, but not there yet.
He's a machine.
He's a PPR machine, like I could see him on a turf toe getting 8 receptions, 9 receptions, maybe even a short touchdown. Yeah, buy it.
Okay. Mike, I want you to put up an Instagram thing of PPR legend Amon-Ra.
Yeah. He's already done that status. He's already
I'm
Hall of
also
Fame
listening
status,
to my
according to
dogs
Matt,
in the
right?
background here, wondering if they're going to murder each other. So,
That'll be entertaining if you're breaking up a fight.
yeah.
All right. Let's
But
jump
they're
to the
not
next
even
one.
near each other. That's the thing. I'm just hearing them run around, and is one of them. All right.
All right, let's go to the Colts at Ravens. Ravens are giving it 8.5 points. Over unders 44.5. That's 67 degrees and more rain. A lot of rain. So this is mine. Mike, I'm gonna start with you. Michael Pittman is currently wide receiver 12.5 point PPR through 2 games. He's averaging 8 receptions a game. Over under 9 catches with 100 yards if Minshew is quarterback.
If I'm selling. I mean, that's a big over under, Doug. 9.
Well, he's been averaging 8 with Anthony Richardson, and Minshew is going to throw it more. So
probably going to throw it more. I'm still going to sell. I think Minshew is more comfortable in an offense and is more willing to spread the ball around instead of just throwing to his first look. So I could see this being, if Minshew is the quarterback, I could see it Alex Pierce getting a better game, Josh Downs getting a better game, it just being a more diverse target share than if it was just Anthony Richardson.
Okay. I can't even, this might not even be right, but was he there when Allen Robinson was there? And
who there?
In Jacksonville? Minshew? Was he playing when Allen Robinson was there? I'm just wondering because Allen Robinson, those were his years, No, he wasn't.
No, that was DJ Chark's coming out party.
Was that Blake Bortles was Allen Robinson?
Blake Bortles was Allen Robinson.
Oh, okay. All right.
I mean, Allen Robinson, maybe the back end of the career, but I remember Minshew with DJ Chark.
Yeah. Basically, the reason I brought it up is because I know he has made receivers relevant in the past.
Oh, yeah.
So I was just, Michael Pittman.
Let's check it out. I'm pretty sure he was either gone or he was on his way out.
Okay. All right. Matt, here's your question. Justice Hill missed practice today and is in doubt for this weekend. Does Gus take the lead back and not look back this week, or will the Ravens try to look elsewhere? JT, Fournette, or are they all in on Gus?
So this is like a long-term season deal.
It is, but also, is he going to do really well this week in order to help that case?
I think he'll do as well as Gus Edwards can do. Yeah, I mean, Lamar Jackson is the goal line touchdown dude. They might give it to him for a touchdown here and there. I mean, I don't think Gus is going to be breaking 5 yards per carry. Maybe 3.5. So
yeah, all right. I tend to agree. So the second part of that question, though, are they going to stick with Gus and Justice, or are they going to go out and get a guy?
I think that it's getting to that kind of who they're going to get. I mean, they might sign Leonard Fournette. Kareem Hunt's already back with the Browns. Might have to trust in Super Bowl champion Melvin Gordon and bring him up, give him a few carries.
Every opportunity to bring up the Chiefs Super Bowl, right?
Here we go.
Yeah, we should have done an over-under on that to start.
Yeah.
Mike, did you have a question? Or?
No, I was going to say, I don't think the Ravens can ever really trust Gus Edwards because every time he's gotten the opportunity, he's gotten hurt. So,
yeah,
I mean, I know that's one-off situations, but if you're John Harbaugh in that offense, what has it been 2 or 3 times now when he's been the backup, and then all of a sudden a week or two later, he's out for the year. So I think no matter what, if Gus is even doing good, they're not going to depend on him for a full-time role.
Yeah, I don't see how they can.
Yeah, I mean, I'm worried for Gus's health right now if Justice Hill doesn't play, because it seems like Gus only gets hurt when he's ready to step up as the RB1. So
we should all be praying for Gus.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to the next game. Panthers at Seahawks. Matt, this is yours. Seahawks are given 6.5. Over-unders 42. 63 degrees and cloudy for that one. What do you have for your 2 questions?
2 questions. I have to thank Mike for these. So he might be a little more prepared for him, but I'll go with Doug first. Besides Geno, who leads the offense in fantasy points for the Seahawks this week?
Besides Geno?
Besides Geno.
Besides Geno, I'll go with DK. I'll say DK on that. He'll get a touchdown or 2. He'll get in the end zone. Panthers D is
touchdown or 2, huh?
Touchdown or 2. A touchdown.
Okay.
Yeah, he's one of those guys, man. Where he's got that big body and he just does not get in the end zone like he should, or like you would think he would.
Does anybody know off the top of the head, is JC Horn still out this week?
I believe he is.
So that definitely helps DK.
I could be wrong. It is still early it's Thursday, but I think he's still not practicing.
Yeah, no, if I was to pick a guy, I would pick DK, though. Not your boy Kenneth.
I would, if I'm allowed to, I probably would go Kenneth if I was asked that question.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I would go Kenneth too.
I mean,
the guy gets
he'll have more opportunities,
attempts a game.
Yeah, he'll have more opportunities.
That's why.
Yep.
Yeah. Then Mike, would you consider starting anybody on the Panthers offense?
Great question. I wonder who came up with that question.
It is a great.
For
I reworded it though.
You did. But for somebody that came up with that question, I don't have an answer for it. I think Miles Sanders is still. You drafted him as an RB2, right? So, unless you are the Kyron Williams winner or something of that nature, you're not starting somebody on your bench over Miles Sanders. I would start Miles Sanders over Jaylen Warren still, because he has the opportunity more than him. I would start him over, Roschon Johnson and things like that. So the backups to the league, I'm still starting Miles Sanders. And he does catch balls out of the backfield too. So I think out of that offense, the only one I'm still semi-comfortable with is Miles Sanders, even though he hasn't shown it yet.
So you mentioned the two backups on those teams. I think you would also start him over Najee, right? And you would probably
You know
start him
what?
over Khalil Herbert as well.
I talk a lot of shit about Najee, just because I think Jalen Warren is better than Najee. I mean, we've all seen it on the field, but for the role in the offense, Najee still has a bigger role than Jalen Warren. So I think out of those two, I would still start Najee over Miles Sanders.
Miles
And it's a
Sanders,
better
huh?
offense. I mean, not by much.
Oh,
but
the
it is a better
matchup this week
offense.
too.
Yeah.
Going
that
back,
is
the
some-
Raiders are ranked very low against the run.
true.
I mean, Najee might get 15 carries. I mean, if he just breaks one for like a 20-yard touchdown, 8 points.
Which that might
you know?
take 20-yard touchdown. He probably runs like an 8.5 40. So you're looking at, 5 seconds to get there, but
All right.
that one didn't hit, huh?
Yeah.
The guy's
Oh,
slow.
yeah.
The guy is slow.
He's very slow. He's very slow.
I'm a Najee believer. I have been for years, but you guys know that. I'm actually kind of bummed I didn't get him in the third round coming back, because then I'd have a running back to start this week. So, but,
I mean, the eye test is all Jalen Warren. He just looks so much more
Yeah.
explosive.
no,
Catches the ball
100%,
better.
man. That
He's
so
the
Tomlin
better
has to
running back.
kind of get off his Najee stick and go
I
with
think he
Jalen Warren
admitted.
for sure.
Actually, I think there was something
Yeah.
this week about him talking about Jalen Warren and how great he's been looking. So
I mean, you got to. I mean, if the guy makes like what, 30 yards off of one reception. Like, I'm exaggerating a little bit, but you know what I mean. It's like,
And he's
guy's
fighting
explosive.
for every yard he gets, too. Like, he's breaking
Yeah.
tackles. He looks explosive. Najee kind of, like you said, man, he's playing that game of like, I'm Najee Harris, like, look what I did in Alabama. It's like, that doesn't matter anymore, because this is your
No.
third year in the NFL and you're still averaging below 4 yards a carry. No one cares about what you did in Alabama anymore.
yeah, and he's not getting his attempts, like he's getting a lot. Well, not this year yet, but we're 3 weeks in, but he's gotten his attempts. He's gotten he's a workhorse back, or he used to be. So
used to be.
Yeah.
Wants to be. He's the wannabe one. All right, let's go to the next game. Cowboys at Cardinals. Matt, this is yours. Cowboys are given 12.5 points. It's the highest one
shit.
of the week. Over under is 42.5, and that's an indoor game. What do you have for?
What's that? Good, Matt. Do your questions. I'm going to do the math try to do the math on what that implies the Cardinals are scoring, because that's a 12.5 point favorite with only a 42-point line. That's not good.
Mike, I was thinking, because I actually looked up the favorites and the over-unders and stuff like that. I'm like a point over from the site I saw. I got 43.5 with 12.5. But I'm like, how do they do that? Because I got the Cowboys winning that 31-14. If that, maybe 30, maybe
Yeah.
because of. But anyway, question-wise, fun note, I did find out this was my brief research, that the Cowboys are 1-5 against the Cardinals since 2008.
Okay.
Just saying. But anyway, Brandon Cooks, by herself, Brandon Cooks has a flex versus the Cardinals, and an under and over of 80 yards. And I said 4 receptions because he's Brandon Cooks.
Yeah.
Who's this for?
Sorry, I'll go with Mike first.
I'm gonna sell. It's his first game back. He didn't do it week 1 when he was semi-healthy for most of the game, right? I think he got hurt late in that game. I could be wrong, but I think it was late. I think he's still adjusting to this offense, and not for nothing, they're not going to need him much. Like, I think this is more of a Tony Pollard and maybe even Rico Dowdle game than it is CeeDee Lamb and Brandon Cooks and Michael Gallup and the rest of the crew. So it's going to be heavy running, I think, for the Cowboys, and they're not going to need him much. So I'm going to sell.
Yep. I like that answer. I was trying to, because to me this is a blowout game, so I was trying to think, like, what can I ask that's like not obvious? Like, will Tony Pollard get like 150? Like,
Yeah,
but I think I'm reading
That was
Some
a tough
ridiculous number.
That was a tough one.
That's what I'm saying. All right.
What's your second question?
Dougie, can James Conner average 4.3 yards per carry against Dallas, who's only allowed 172 yards on the ground? in 2 games.
Okay. Has he been is that what he's been averaging? 4.3?
He's at 4.4.
Okay. I was just wondering.
I think it was
why you came up with that.
4.6 last game.
I would go with the under on that one. I would go with the under. Hey, that defense is so freaking explosive. It's such a good defense. I don't know how good
4.5.
he averages 4.5 on the year so far.
4.5.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll go under 4.3 though still. Yeah, that defense is just going to smother that team. They're not going to be able to do anything.
I almost had James Conner as my sit of the week, and I changed it last minute, but I did a little research, and I know you mentioned 170 something yards rushing so far, but even out of those yards, the Cowboys let up 28 yards rushing to running backs against the Jets last week, and only 64 yards in week 1 to running backs.
Because
So
Daniel Jones
not
is
even-
running a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Correct.
didn't even think of that week 1. Yeah.
So not even 100
So-
yards to running backs on the year so far.
Yeah. That
Are the
defense.
Cowboys the best defense in the league right now?
Yes.
Yeah.
You have to say that, right?
Yeah, they are. Yep. Okay. Let's jump to the next game. Matt, this is yours as well. It's 3 in a row for you, Matt. Bears at Chiefs. So this is the same. The Chiefs are given 12.5 on this one as well, but the over-under is 48.5, 77 and sunny. What do you have for your Chiefs? What do you have for your questions with your Chiefs there?
Quick note as well. Bears defense coordinator literally quit his job yesterday.
I know, because he had like the FBI raid his house, right?
I think he's just trying to get away from Mahomes, but whatever. Yeah, the FBI thing. Yeah, that did happen though, Mike. So, Mike, I'm gonna ask you this question because I already mentioned it to Doug. Chiefs running back. I mean, will a Chiefs running back rush for over 100 yards by herself?
You know, this is another one. Before Doug told me, because I had no idea that Pacheco was questionable coming into this week with a hamstring injury. I had Pacheco as my start of the week because I thought he was just going to go off. This was his day. So I'm going to sell because if hamstrings, Andy says it all the time, that they're lingering, they suck.
Yeah.
And you don't perform as well as you usually do if you have a hamstring injury. So I buy the Chiefs running backs as a whole unit, but not a single running back to get 100 yards. So I sell that single running back.
I was going with it was going to be Pacheco, but with the questionable hamstring thing, I had to kind of flip it the Chiefs RB, and we knew it's not going to be McKinnon, right? And I don't know if Clyde's done it in his career. I mean,
yeah, I was going to say, I think we know it's not going to be either of them.
Can I make a bold prediction? If Pacheco is listed out, I will buy Clyde Edwards-Helaire at 100 yards.
Oh, that's bold.
Bold.
That's bold, but the reasoning behind the question was I do think the Chiefs are going to handle the Bears, and I think it's going to be a lot of clocking, you know?
Exactly.
All right, what's your second Chiefs question?
All right, Dougie. So I changed the sacks, but I think I want to under over Chiefs defense getting 4.5 sacks. They've only had 1 on the season so far, apparently, that I just found that out. But Fields has been averaging 5 sacks, getting sacks 5 times a game.
Yeah. So I really like the Chiefs defense for this. And I said it on our last podcast. I picked them up in a few leagues. I think that they are going to have a really good week. However, I'm going to go under. I'll say they maybe get 3 or 4 because Justin Fields came out and he was pissed. And he was saying that he basically blamed the coaches and the game plan, right, for what happened. So I think he's actually going to run the ball a lot more, and it's going to make it to where his decision making is a little faster, and he's not going to be scrambling in the back as much, and there's not going to be as many sacks. And the fact that the Chiefs only have 1 so far this year, that's a little worrisome as well. So yeah, they'll get 3, but they're not going to go over that.
2 points real quick.
Yeah.
first Fields even said, like, I'm gonna play like me. Like, I'm not gonna think anymore. No more progression. I'm just gonna fucking play like me. Like, we said that on Monday. Like, just look at your reads quick and then run the ball. That's what you're good at. So
Yeah.
I think that makes it sell as well. And two, Matt, I never met your wife before, but she is a saint. Every time
She's
she
a
goes by
saint.
the screen, she's ducking down so she's not in camera view. Like, it's just it's so hilarious to see that she's that courteous that she's ducking down so she's not in the
and
camera view. So
and she's rallying the dogs for me, and she's
Bravo.
here.
She was a very sweet lady for sure. Very, very sweet woman.
You just got kudos if she can't hear, but but yeah.
Okay. All right, let's
Thanks,
go to the
Mike.
next game. Steelers at Raiders. Raiders given 2.5, over under 43. That's another indoor game. This is mine. Mike, is this the game that Jaylen Warren takes that number 1 back from Najee? We talked a lot about it already, but is this the game where it actually freaking happens?
Are you asking me who ends up with more points, or are you asking me who ends up the starter after this game?
Who ends up the starter after this game?
All right, I'm gonna sell. This
Okay.
is still Najee's team. I think again, Jaylen Warren can end up with more points and even maybe a bigger role going forward. But as far as the starter, I think it's Najee's role for the rest of the year. I think Tomlin, he's committed, he's loyal, and it's tough for him to change. It's tough for the Steelers in general to make a change unless something terrible goes wrong. So I think this is Najee's role for the rest of the year.
Okay. Now I think we are all together in disagreeing on that, though, right? That they should make a change. And I mean,
Yeah,
I mean,
I think Najee is a fan favorite as well. I mean, we don't live in Pittsburgh, but being a Najee, having drafted him in 2 prior seasons in a row, because I was a believer in Najee. I mean, he does a lot with the community. People love him. I mean, he's a fan favorite. I don't think he's going anywhere until that contract's expired. But I do think Jaylen Warren, if they want to win games, he's going to start eating into Najee's. Like, Najee will come in for the first drive. Here comes Jaylen Warren on the second. You know what I mean? Something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe, sooner than later. If they want to win.
Yeah, exactly. If they want to win.
A professional sport,
It should be at least a 50-50 timeshare at this point in time.
Yeah.
He's much more efficient. All right, Matt, here's your question. The Steelers showed last week that they got to the QB quick, or that they can get to the QB quick. That being said, buy or sell Josh Jacobs leads the team in catches because of the lack of time that Garoppolo is going to have.
Oh, I'm gonna have to sell that. I mean, is Jacoby Myers coming back?
Jacoby Myers, I think he's on track to come back.
Yeah, especially with I'm selling because, I mean, not only because Myers will come back, Devontae Adams over there. Yeah, I'll sell it.
Okay. Jacobs had 5 catches last week, I believe. It was the only thing he did last week because he didn't run the ball forward, at least. So, all right.
I think if Myers comes back, there's a good chance he leads in receptions. I think Devontae's still going to be the top fantasy scorer for that team. I think Jacobs still has a little.
I don't know the offensive line for the Raiders off the top of my head, or who the right tackle is, but TJ Watt has been, I mean, he is incredible. Obviously, we all know that, but he's been the easy defensive player of the year so far through 2 weeks. And if he can get to the quarterback that quick this week, Garoppolo, he's just going to check it down all game.
He's going to have to start dumping it off. Yeah.
I could see, I mean, I'm going to sell, but I wouldn't be surprised at the end of the day if Jacobs.
Yeah, no, for sure. I wouldn't be surprised. It was hard. It was a hard answer for sure, Doug. Yeah, I just think, I don't know.
There was a long pause. There was a long pause.
Yeah, there's a 50-50. I could have bought 2, but I decided I'm going to sell.
All right, next game. Mike, this is yours. It's your boys, Eagles. Eagles at Bucks. Eagles are given 4.5, over under 46. That's 82 degrees and thunderstorms there. What do you got?
Oh, thunderstorms. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
All right. So, Doug, you'll get the Eagles question.
Okay.
Against this Bucks defense, Cole Kmet scored 5.8 points last week, and TJ Hawkinson scored 7.5 the week before. Buy or sell, Dallas Goedert will finish higher than Cole Kmet and Hawkinson did against Tampa Bay. So 7.5 was the highest so far. Will Goedert beat that mark?
Oh, I'm going to sell that. There's too many other options on that Eagles team. He's just not a big part of it right now. And I think Hawkinson is a much better tight end and gets way more opportunities. And if he only had 7.5, I don't see Goddard getting more than that.
Matt, were you shaking your head?
Oh, I mean, I'm gonna buy it. It's like 7.5, a touchdown and 6. I mean, all it takes is a touchdown, two receptions.
So the thing
actually-
with that though is Goddard doesn't get touchdowns. So that's the problem with that. Was he? I think his most for his season is like 3 or 4. So
Yeah. If it's,
I don't know.
if it gets
Last
in the
week
red
they
zone,
seemed. Last week, I mean, going back a week, let's hit the time machine. They seem to really try to be forcing that ball at Goddard that game. Like, here's a 1 yard dump off, here's a 2 yard dump. You know what I mean? So I
Yeah.
don't know. I mean, I could. It's like you said though. It's like kind of like that 50-50 buy and sell thing.
if you had to ask me, I think this is Goddard's coming out party. I think this is his week where he comes out and proves himself as a top 5 tight end in the league. But that's coming from a very biased Eagles opinion. So
very biased.
My opinion's also coming from a guy that doesn't draft tight ends and drafted Goddard earlier than I would ever.
I want to put it out there. Two
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
biased opinions here.
Two
And I am
hopeful opinions.
I'm completely unbiased. I don't have him anywhere. I'm not rooting for him anywhere. I have no stake in the game.
all right, Matt, your
So listen
question
to
for the
Doug, guys.
Bucks.
Listen to Doug.
Yeah, we've seen what happens when people
All
listen
right.
to him. But
Go.
anyway, through 2 weeks, Baker has been the 6th best has had the 6th best quarterback rating in the NFL and is completing 69% of his passes. With a banged up Eagles secondary, buy or sell, Baker will be a top 12 quarterback for week 3.
I buy it. Banged up
Wow,
Eagles
man.
secondary. I buy it. Why not? I mean, the weapons are there. You got Godwin and Evans. I mean, they're still good. You know,
And they're probably going to be coming from behind. So they're probably going to have to pass a lot.
Baker Mayfield is in my opinion they're gonna have to pass it a lot, exactly. Underrated quarterback in my opinion. So
He gives it
I
all.
mean,
You got to give him that.
you know,
The guy
so-
tries his hardest.
He's fun, man.
And
He's
I
kind of
think
he's
that
kind he's a
the-
fun one to
I
watch.
think the run is gonna be hard. Rashad White's gonna have a tough time.
Very true.
You know, so they're gonna have to pass. I mean, great thing
good.
about fantasy, you could be a top 12 quarterback by losing.
Yeah.
Yeah, very true. Yes.
All right, let's get to our last game. It's Rams at Bengals. Bengals given 3. Over under is 43.5. 68 degrees. That's a night game. Mike, as we stated on the last show, Puka has had 35 targets for the first 2 weeks.
Mhm.
35. Over under 17.5 this week.
No way, Matt. I'm selling it.
All
Matt Stafford's been feeding him the first 2 weeks, right? But that was when defenses kind of weren't ready for Cooper Kupp to be back in the lineup already. So
Okay.
they're gonna get Puka's gonna get the attention. What I'm saying is Puka's gonna get the attention that Cooper Kupp usually gets, and he's not as good as Cooper Kupp. So I think this could be a little more balanced. I'm still saying 10 plus targets, but 17.5, I'm selling that.
Okay. Yeah, it was kind of a joke question, but split it down the middle. 35 targets through 2 weeks is unbelievable.
It's incredible.
All right, Matt, buy or sell, Chase finally has his coming out party and gets in the end zone. I got some stake
Is
in this
Burrow
question.
playing?
If Burrow plays. yeah.
Burrow's
Yeah,
if Burrow plays.
yeah, we'll say Burrow's playing.
I'll
All right.
buy it.
If Burrow's not playing, he doesn't get a touchdown.
I don't know if they get a touchdown.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll buy it.
Who's the backup there?
I don't know. And I think his only play time was last week. Actually, he had a couple passes because Burrow tweaked it.
Chase is a talent, you know what I mean? Like, and then you got Higgins on the other side. You got Boyd, mixing. Like, Chase is a talent. Like, he's gonna win 1-on-1. So
Jake
force it to
Browning
him.
is the backup.
Yeah, Jake Browning. It was on the tip of my tongue.
Everyone knows Jake Browning. What
Yeah.
the hell, guys?
You idiots.
I was totally I was thinking about Jamar Chase because I was trying to be fantasy relevant, but I knew who Jake Browning was. I just wasn't listening. No, I'm just kidding.
All right. That's our matchups of the week. I think we covered everything.
That was fun, guys.
That was
I
good.
like that.
Let's do our start sit sleeper of the week. All right. Let's run through these quick. Who's your start of the week, Mike?
Just start of the week, right? You don't want me to go all three. Just start, and then
Yeah,
we'll.
we'll just start. We'll do round
right.
the horn real quick with it.
All right, my start of the week. We just talked about the Eagles' banged up secondary and Baker Mayfield being a top 12 quarterback. My start of the week is Chris Godwin. When you look at, because I think Bradbury's back this week, but Avonte Maddox, the Eagles' slot corner, is out for the year. He tore his pec. So when you have Maddox in the slot against potentially even Bradbury, but if not Bradbury, then their fourth corner. I just think this is Godwin's week, and it's gonna do. Mike Evans gonna take a back seat to him against the Eagles. So
Yeah, Godwin hasn't really had his coming out party yet, so I like that call. All right, Matt, who's your start of the week?
My start of the week is Najee Harris / Jalen Warren. I'm leaning more towards Najee, just because this is what we already talked about. I mean, we devoted 5 minutes to Najee
We
and
did.
Jalen
We talked
Warren.
a lot. Yeah.
So,
Okay.
rate is ranked pretty low against the run. If they're gonna score any points this week, Najee specifically, it's probably gonna be this week.
George
I saw
Kittle.
The Giants
catch.
score,
I
Mike.
saw
George Kittle. No,
catch.
George
George
Kittle
Kittle.
A Kittle catch.
If
Like
you
a
said the
Puka
Giants
package. A Puka
scored, I would,
package
I
and a
would,
Kittle
I would have
catch.
to
Yeah.
plan on staying awake a little.
All right, my start of the week is Alexander Madison. I'm going back to the well one more time, man, and that's probably it. That's probably it. If he doesn't do it this week, I'm done with him. But he's playing for his job now, right? With the trade for Akers coming there, I don't think Akers is going to play this week, and if he does, it's going to be a very small role. So I also like the matchup a lot with the Chargers. They gave up 141 yards last week on the ground and 536 total yards in week 1. So I think the opportunity is there for Madison to finally have that game. All right, playing for his life here.
This is his last chance to have it.
This is the last chance I'm giving.
Yeah. All right.
So
Okay.
I wouldn't say last chance, but definitely what Doug has a little hop rate going on. But I agreed with him completely. On a side note, I mean, Alex, I was gonna draft him instead of Trevor Lawrence that round. I think so.
yeah, it
wish
made
you did.
sense. It was logical, but it
Yeah.
didn't work out. Who's your sit, Mike?
My sit of the week is Christian Kirk. I know he came out in week 2. What would he have? Like 11 catches for 139. I'm making those numbers up, but it's something like that.
Yeah, he had a big week.
I feel like this is Calvin Ridley's week. He's going to come out and he's going to prove himself the one once again. And then in the second half of the game, they're not going to need anybody, and it's going to be ETNs or even Tank Bigsby because it's the Texans and they're going to be up big. So I don't think Christian Kirk's going to be needed much. And even when he is, Ridley's going to get the targets.
I like it. I got a lot of stock in Ridley as well. All right, Matt, who's yours? Who's your sit of the week?
Sit of the week. I don't know, Doug. You want to take this one? We both have the same one.
No, you do it. You do it, and then I'll
right.
I'll add.
All
some
right, my
stuff.
sit of the week is Damian Pierce. I mean, Jaguars defense, high ranking against the fantasy running backs anyway, from what I read. Not that I watch every Jaguar game. 2.6 yards per carry for Damian Pierce. It's pretty bad. I mean, we talk all this crap about poor Najee, but yeah, I'm gonna sit Damian Pierce this week. It's a tough matchup.
Yeah, he's averaged 3.5 and 2.1 yards per carry in the first 2 games. Has 69 yards total this season with no touchdowns. Yeah, he's a sit candidate all day.
And he's most likely
quick.
somebody's RB2, right? I mean,
Yeah, people
especially the
drafted
way
him.
RBs go. So.
Yeah, people drafted him as an RB2 / number one flex option. Go ahead, Mike.
Real quick, if you had, so obviously if you had Bijan and Karen Williams, you're starting both of them over Damian Pierce. But in a flex position, completely random question, not an actual scenario. Rashad White or Damian Pierce? Who are you starting?
Me or Doug?
Both.
It sounds like it's an
Rashad
actual
White.
situation going on here. I think Mike's getting fantasy
No.
advice.
I'm not
I'm gonna
getting
go
fantasy
Rashad.
advice.
I'm
I'm
gonna go Rashad White just because of the game he's coming off of last week.
Yeah, I'll go Rashad White too because he catches the
Might
ball
have
more as
even
well.
more passing
Yeah.
All right, one more.
receiving opportunities.
Damian Pierce or Tutu Atwell?
Tutu Atwell.
Yeah, I'd go 2-2 as well. I mean, he had 9 and 8 targets the last 2 weeks until Cooper Kupp's there. He's getting work.
That's not. That was completely unbiased. Doug, don't look at the Super Flex League rosters or anything.
All right, Mike, who's your sleeper?
My sleeper of the week is Rashad Bateman. I just see this being his 80-yard touchdown catch week. OBJ is banged up. Zay Flowers didn't really perform this week. I think he gets on the last week. I think Bateman gets on the field a little bit more, and I could see him ending with 3 catches for 120 yards and a touchdown. So it's my sleeper of the week.
I like it with Odell banged up. He's out, right? You say he's out?
Is he officially out? I don't know.
I don't know. I know he's banged up. So
yeah.
All right, Matt, who's your sleeper?
Roshan Johnson. I just feel like we said it before. I'm going to give the Chiefs small props. It's going to be a high scoring blowout game for them. And that's Roshan's time to shine this year, apparently. So he's going to come in. He's probably going to, and he does good when he does it, So why not? Again, I'm thinking, he's my RB2 because RBs in our league is no good, but I'm thinking definitely a good, easy 12 to 15 point flex option.
Wow. Okay.
I like it.
Yeah, he might get 4 or 5 catches. So. Yeah. All right. My sleeper is Taysom Hill. And even more than the sleeper for the week here, he's a daily fantasy lineup plug-in, especially if you can put him in at tight end and all that. Like, I love Taysom Hill this week.
Are you? Sorry.
Go
ahead. You finish first, and then I'll ask.
Ask
it's your time.
He had 9 carries for 75 yards last week. He had a pass 2 for 8 yards. Kendra Miller and Tony Jones are the only other 2 healthy backs this week. I love the fact that, they do those gadget passes with him as well. They might do those near the goal line. Never know. So the fact that he's really a triple threat because he catches the ball, runs the ball, and can pass the ball. And with them not having Kamara yet, he's a 1-week start. This is not a guy that you want to use after Kamara gets back, most likely. But I love him this week. Go ahead, Mike.
No, I was just gonna ask: is he your sleeper even in like an RB2 situation, or more flex and obviously
flex.
tight end if they allow it? Flex, okay.
Yeah, flex, tight end, high upside kind of guy. Yep,
okay,
absolutely. All right. What's the score of the game right now? Is it still 0-0?
It's 3-3.
Oh, it's 3-3.
Oh,
okay.
what?
Yeah.
I guess I'm not sleeping.
Yeah.
All right, let's go watch some boring football.
All right, boys, that was fun.
All right, so for Mike,
yeah, guys, thanks for having me.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Of course.
For Mike and Matt, I'm Doug. We'll see you guys next time. Later.
Later, guys.